they look a lot better on their lineup this time around.
Well, ONIC PH right now, they almost lost game 1, and they have to at least play this a little bit more cleanly in the early game, because execration in the early game from game 1 was insanely good. If they could replicate the same success that they had in game 1, that could be great use for them. And right now, we are entering the land of Dawn, where a lot of players right now aren't really playing aggressively. Most of them just want to try to secure the objectives that they need to be able to reach that early power spike.
And again, this is a matchup that everybody's looking forward to. It is at the max. It is Kyrie. And it's the Farsa versus the Eve.
It's going to be, I think, a very exciting match the moment they reach level 4. Pre-level 4, it's just going to be someone poking each other out.
Yeah, tap wisely. That is the, I think that's the name of the game here for both of these teams. It's still hard to tell, though, if we're going to see a game number 3 or if we're going to see a complete 2-0 here, because the lineup for both of these teams are really well-rounded in all stages of the game.
They have different objectives, that's for sure, but Kelra might be in trouble here. Jay with a 2v1.
His objective is to stay alive. He will get taken out, and Etomax kind of slow in there. Will potentially take down Jay. Does not have a lot of damage there. He's still not level 4.
And that could have been ONIC surviving, but that one lone auto attack coming in from Execration that gave them the first blood, and now Execration will be ahead in gold, mainly because of that kill in the bottom lane.
And that is also a kill going to the side of Jay. Would have been nice if it went to Marky to get that little bit of advantage in terms of gold in his pockets. But we are seeing the rotations on towards the turtle here. 1 second in, turtle is up. Execration already having, actually ONIC having a good priority over the turtle themselves, but the threat of Chaknu is still very much real. He's not level 4 yet, so it's not much of a threat, but it could still be a steal. Never mind, they will not go for it.
Yeah, and as you said, Chaknu is not yet level 4. It's not a smart idea to try to contest a turtle if you don't have your power spike just yet. An Atlas without the Fatal Links isn't a threat at all, as you said earlier. So Chaknu really needs that level 4 before Execration tries anything aggressive in this game. Because so far, if you look at their composition, the Ling and the Farsa are the only ones that could go aggressive, especially with Renzio on this Baksha. But let's see, and now they're going to rotate in this game. Lar is forced out to dash, and looks like he's just going to cut the lane here. Has the power to do so as well.
And the Lar is playing, I'd argue, one of his signature heroes as well. So he'll pretty much have confidence over Renzio here in the side lanes. He should come out on top against Renzio here in the side lane. And will they have to focus on instead Marky and Etomax, not Etomax, Kelra over in the bottom lane there. It's an objective that it's a matchup that we have to look forward to, because they will add a lot of DPS as the game progresses, aside from the Eve, aside from the Farsa. And Execration do have the turtle priority for themselves as well.
And speaking of the turtle, that's gonna spawn out 35 seconds from now, which means Execration, if they do establish good control in this bottom side, might be a turtle for free against ONIC PH. Marquee will have to I think request assistance from ONIC PH the moment that turtle spawns, because looking at how Execration is moving right now, they're just gonna take or push a little bit in the mid lane and immediately transition bot to try and get Kelra and then secure the turtle. But look at Lar in the base just disrupting everything.
That's as deep as a cut as it can go, and it has to give a lot of opening for ONIC to finally contest the turtle themselves. The Lar wonderful with applying a lot of pressure for his team to really succeed. Now the turtle will be started off by Execration, and ONIC PH, they are in prime position to go for the retake here. Real world manipulation will be thrown, as well as Defender Airstrike. The Venn diagram is going to be thrown out. Execration will come out on top. What a fight! Beautiful 4-man Fatal Links coming in from Chakno, allowing KLVJ to go ham in the faces of ONIC PH. The Lar in the backline, so we'll be able to take down Renzio, but
Kyrie going back.
Kyrie's going back. It's not enough. It's a win for Execration in that fight.
Yeah, Execration not only secures the turtle, but also secures 3 kills as well on their side. Execration with a great miracle setup, but I feel like that feathered airstrike won't really land.
We're gonna hop on to an instant replay real quick. We have to have a second look at that fight, as this instant replay is brought to you by Oppo A94.
Where is Chaknu? Still invisible inside that brush. ONIC PH, they don't know where Chaknu is until the final moment where he just comes in with a lot of movement speed and then boom! Gets 3 people in that fatal link. The damage rains in and just ONIC PH losing a lot of members in that one quick engage coming in from Execration. And Execration right now, the fans are going wild. This is the classic Chaknu set that they have been waiting for.
And that is a sign for ONIC PH. So really, hey, let's not group up as a team. It's a threat. We don't want Chaknu to get another one of those. And Chaknu has been consistently nailing those when he was still consistently picking up the Atlas as well in the earlier seasons of the MPL.
And right now, ONIC PH, they have still a good ground against Execration. Just a 600 gold lead, but Flar caught out of position in the mid lane, and that's going to be a kill for Execration. And looks like Execration finally finding the edges that they need. And ONIC PH, I feel like the win condition for them right now is to just give Marquis the space to earn more gold and potentially carry on this Harith.
And look at this though. Again, we just gotta have to go back to the composition here. It's a Bruno and a Harith. They hurt in the late game. As soon as they get, actually even in the mid game, as long as they have the items already, as long as they have 2 items on themselves, they will start to hurt. And that is a threat here for Execration.
And speaking of threat, Execration actually picks up the Dominance Ice, which is a big counter against ONIC PH, considering that both Marquis and Hade does need attack speed to be able to deal more damage inside the fight. So this is a great itemization coming in from Renzio.
Then we have to expect Kelra to come out with the Necklace of Durance as well to dampen the healing that Jay will potentially give out to his team. Good itemization here from Execration, and good holds here from Execration actually. They're not overextending themselves in the fight, but yeah, let's have to give props to Chaknu. He is the primary threat here for ONIC PH. You need to make sure that if they are engaging, Chaknu's nowhere near them.
And the moment the flicker is up for Chaknu, it's always going to be a big threat against ONIC PH. So ONIC PH, I feel like the Colliers to just avoid
look at this.
team
3
fights.
members are all together. The Fatal Links will not be forced out. But the Zama Force was forced out. That's a win for Execration.
And no kills in the top side. Great rotation coming in from Execration, but the defense coming in from ONIC PH allows them to stay alive. Feathered airstrike.
looking for it. He gets 2. The Feathered airstrike lands perfectly on top of those 2 members. Jay will fall down. And Chaknu is low. KLVJ as well is low. Renzio will be diving in towards the backlines. And Kelra just doing a good job, just sustaining a lot of damage here for Execration.
And Execration, they immediately find 2 people with the Fatal Links, and this is the scary Chaknu form that ONIC PH do not want to see. And speaking of do not want to see, the Harith does not want anything to do with Chaknu. Just goes out in the top side, stays in his lane, gets a turret down for ONIC PH. But Execration, not only did they get a turret in the mid lane, but they also got 2 kills. That means Execration won that trade, and looks like they're going to get the 3rd turtle of the game as well.
This is looking really good for Execration. This is this is sort of a look of how Execration was during Game 1, but with a major difference being them being very aggressive in team fights, and that is enabled by Chaknu, also getting a Dominance Ice for himself.
And Atomax on the Necklace of Durance, and this is very good itemization coming in from Execration. You just gotta commend that. They really do respect the healing coming in from Estes. They still respect the damage and the attack speed coming in from Bruno and Marquis, and that respect gives them enough knowledge to just counter a lot of these things with the items that they choose. They're spending their gold wisely, they're rotating nicely, and Execration, they're building a good amount of lead with just 3k right now going into 10 minutes.
Look at the big difference here though. It's Bruno with 5,000 gold to his name, 6,000 on the side of KelVJ, but even more so, look at Kelra having 7,000 in his pockets.
And
it's a big lead.
That's a lot of gold.
3 locked-in items for Kelra as well.
That is a lot of items as well for Kelra. That does mean that this Lunox will hurt like hell. Already the Lightning Truncheon and the Necklace of Durance.
As well as the Clock of Destiny.
You know what? If you just pull out the Order of Brilliance, just go out in front of a lot of people, that's gonna hurt, that's for sure. Execration does have the lead, but let's go back to what happened in Game 1. They had the lead as well. They pushed. They made mistakes, and they lost the game. Execration could not afford that. They're already inside this game where they have a good amount of lead. They don't deserve another heartbreak like this one unless they let it happen. Chaknu, though, already in a mindset that they want to close this out.
They're really zoning out ONIC PH from even having an attempt to get the Lord themselves. And they're focusing on the bottom lane to really just not give the Lord that space-creating place, not enable him to get a lot of space for ONIC PH. As we see ONIC really trying to go for the rotates here over to the mid lane. We spot out Kelra and KLBJ, and it's not working out well from them. The Lar is surrounded here, though.
Yeah, that's
3
4
members.
people coming in from Execration.
Diving in on top.
No, 5.
5 just standing on the turret, and that's the turret going down.
And they don't even damage Lar. They know that Lar is a very tanky hero.
Real
That's the real world
The
manipulation.
flicker out by Chakno, and Chakno can re-engage if he wants to. There's the response to the real world manipulation. Get the Feather there, strike out.
And that response actually triggers a stalemate near that Lord. But ONIC PH, they're pulling this Lord towards them, but they're not actually gonna start it. Still, all of the lanes are quite protected for the side of ONIC PH, but Execration has been stellar in rotating around the map. Look at that mid lane and bottom lane. Unblemished turrets.
Unblemished turrets from Execration. And what's even more unblemished here is Chaknu's current hit rate with the Fatal Links. Currently hitting all of the Fatal Links with nobody even surviving.
So would you say that it's a Fatal Links? Yes.
Moving
I
forward,
take that as a
Execration.
Yes. Well, going back to this game, 12 minutes in, and we are looking at an ONIC PH that is still looking a little bit on the defensive side. Meanwhile, Execration, they are just going ham on this game.
They will be resetting the Lord. They know for a fact that they're baiting ONIC PH into a Lord fight that ONIC PH cannot handle for now.
Yeah,
so it's just...
I mean, they do have the Necklace of Durance. Means this Estes won't be able to heal as much as he wants to.
Oh, it's gonna be big. Chakno will just be baiting out, just making ONIC fear for their lives for a potential Fatal Links coming in from Chakno. The Lord is down to half HP, will be reset. Kelra being the main problem, almost takes down the Lar in the process.
But this resets the Lord, actually. Now the Lord is back at full HP, and that means Execration will need to take some time off before they go for the fight again. Chaknu isn't spotted just yet, but look at this. They're already half HP. KLVJ is low.
And this is also the Feathered Airstrike out of commission. A small opening for ONIC PH to really go in for the team fight. And Chaknu trying to look for the members here. The Lar getting bursted out. Will not die in the process. But meanwhile, you see KLVJ just doing Ling things and just split pushing.
I mean, this is the same thing that Execration did in Game 1. They were able to get a good amount of lead in the early game, but ONIC PH was the one that had the Ling that just split pushed the entire time. So Execration, they're giving ONIC PH little taste of their own medicine in Game 1. But let's see if Execration could actually pull off the win this time, because Execration, they are looking hot on those team fights. And Execration, they could definitely do even more damage. But speaking of damage, it's a 14-minute mark, and we are looking at a late game phase where we have a Bruno and a Harith.
And this is like the third time that we saw a dance, a showdown in the Lord Pit area, because ONIC recognizes that if Execration secures this Lord, it may be another turret, it may be an inhibitor turret for themselves, and they will try to counter this. They get knocked. EXECRATION actually gets knocked out by the Lord. The real world manipulation will be thrown out as well as a feathered airstrike. We have yet
down.
to see a beautiful fatal links. We see it now onto the Lord, and EXECRATION is winning this team fight. Hate will fall down. It's just Kyrie left alive. There's nothing much this Eve could do.
A 5-4-none so far. Eve gonna try to buy time. There's no real-world manipulation that could save him in this trouble. Eto Max trying to cancel out the recall. 1v1 on the mages, but look at the base. Look at the blue side. 4 people. Feathered airstrike trying to take down Kyrie. A 1v1 that won't matter at all. Jay is alive. Marky will be alive in 4 seconds. Can miracles happen, Nomad?
I don't think miracles will happen, but KLVJ will take down Jay, and we're going to game number 3. EXECRATION force it out. And this is trademark EXECRATION aggression, as this winning moment is brought to you by Head and Shoulders.
I mean, look at the faces of these people. They really know that game 1 could have been theirs, and finally in game 2 they secure the game. And not only that, in a dominating fashion as well, especially on the hands of Chaknus Atlas. A lot of good fatal links in this game. The Lord was finally secured by them. No